If you walk into a modern mega stadium like Qatar's Al-Janoub Stadium or London's Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, the weather almost ceases to exist. The playing surface is an immaculate dry emerald carpet. The air is a crisp, perfectly regulated 21 degrees Celsius. And when the home team scores, the deafening roar and synchronized jumping of 40 to 60,000 people, a kinetic event so violent it has been known to register on local seismographs, is absorbed without a single crack in the concrete. If the thermodynamics of this structure fail by even a few degrees, elite athletes can literally collapse from each stroke. If the aerodynamics are miscalculated by a fraction, the roof becomes a giant sail and the superstructure tears itself apart. And if the structural resonance perfectly aligns with those 60,000 screaming fans jumping in unison, the concrete vibrates until it snaps. The modern stadium isn't just about pouring concrete and planting grass. It is about weaponizing fluid dynamics, manipulating wave interference, and hiding vacuum chambers just inches beneath the player's cleats. Here's how you build a fortress against nature. Let's start with the most mathematically infuriating problem: thermodynamics. If you build a stadium in a desert environment, like the incredible Al-Janoub Stadium in Qatar, you can't just put a solid roof on it. A permanent transparent dome would trap the sun's radiation, completely turning the interior into a greenhouse of death. You have to leave the roof open, or at least have a retractable one. But if you leave the roof open, how on earth do you air condition the sky? If you pump cold air into an open bowl, basic physics suggests it would just diffuse, drift upward, and get swept away by the atmosphere. Unless you stop trying to cool the air and start treating the stadium like an empty swimming pool. At a molecular level, cold air is sluggish. The molecules huddle closer together, making a volume of cold air significantly denser and heavier than a volume of hot air, whose molecules are highly energetic and bouncing apart. Instead of putting giant jet engine style AC units in the roof and blasting air downward, engineers completely invert the system. They hide tens of thousands of micro nozzles directly beneath the spectator's seats, under the stairs, and lining the perimeter of the pitch. These nozzles don't blast air. They effectively bleed heavily chilled air at an incredibly low velocity. Because this artificially chilled air is so heavy, it immediately sinks, slowly filling the pool of the stadium with a dense microclimate. Within a few hours, the entire sitting bowl and the playing surface are submerged in a literal lake of cold air. When the blistering hot atmospheric air above the stadium tries to enter, it finds itself facing the boundary layer of this dense cold air and just bounces off. And just like that, you have successfully air-conditioned the outdoors. But there is a catch. That bubble of perfect dense air is incredibly fragile. What happens when a violent storm rolls in? If you have ever played a game on a standard grass field during a downpour, you know it can take less than 10 minutes for it to turn into a muddy, unplayable swamp. Water pools, dirt turns to clay, and traction drops to zero. Yet, during a torrential downpour at Anfield or Wembley Stadium, the grass remains a perfect carpet. That is because the pitch isn't dirt, but a hyper-engineered multi-layered sandwich. It starts with a hybrid matrix. Using massive laser-guided sewing machines, engineers inject millions of synthetic polyethylene fibers exactly 20 centimeters deep into the ground, spaced just millimeters apart. When the natural grass grows, its roots physically intertwine with this plastic mesh. This locks the soil in place so tightly that a 100-kilogram athletes wearing metal cleats can plant their foot at a dead sprint without ripping up a massive divot. But the real magic is beneath the roots. The soil is a meticulously graded silica sand root zone sitting on top of a gravel blanket, and hiding beneath that gravel is a massive network of pipes hooked up to industrial vacuum pumps. This is an active subsurface aeration system, commonly known as a sub-air system. It is not a massive drain waiting for gravity to do the work. When a storm comes along, the stadium detects the moisture spike and literally turns on a vacuum cleaner. The pumps create a massive negative pressure differential beneath the pitch, sucking millions of liters of water downward through the sand matrix instantly. But rain rarely acts alone. Severe storms bring severe crosswinds, and massive crosswinds should blow our beautiful, fragile, cold air lake from Act 1 completely out of the stadium bowl. To stop this, architects can rely on Bernoulli's principle. Looking at the sweeping, futuristic curves of the Al-Janoub Stadium, you can see that the outside isn't just a wall. It is deliberately shaped like an airfoil. When severe winds hit the curved exterior of the stadium, the air is forced to accelerate as it travels up the curvature of the facade. As the air's velocity increases, its pressure drops. This creates a massive low-pressure zone directly above the opening of the roof. The sheer speed and trajectory of the wind essentially vault it right over the hole in the center. The stadium throws an invisible protective blanket of fast-moving air over the open bowl. So, we have defeated the sun, we have vacuumed the rain, and we have deflected the wind. But the most destructive force a stadium faces doesn't come from the sky, it comes from the fans. Imagine this, in 19 minutes game-winning goal, 40 to 60,000 people erupt, jumping out of their seats and stomping on the concrete at the exact same time. 60,000 adult humans jumping simultaneously. That is no small force. This is a kinetic event so massive that it creates a localized earthquake, and it introduces the most terrifying physics problem in civil engineering, resonant frequency. You see, every physical object in the universe, from a wine glass to a suspension bridge, has a natural frequency it likes to vibrate at, dictated by its mass and stiffness. Think of pushing in a swing. If you push them at random times, nothing happens. But if you push them at the exact right moment of their arc, they swing higher and higher. That is constructive wave interference. If the frequency of a crowd jumping, which usually averages around 2 to 3 Hz, perfectly matches the natural resonance frequency of the stadium's concrete skeleton, the vibrations compound, the kinetic energy stacks. Left unchecked, the structure would literally vibrate itself to pieces. To prevent a catastrophic collapse, engineers borrow a trick from skyscraper design. Modern arenas like the colossal 17,500-seat South Stand at the Tottenham Stadium deploy tuned mass dampers and base isolators. The stadium is not built to be rigid, it is built to be a massive suspension system. When the crowd jumps down, imparting millions of joules of kinetic energy into the floor, the stadium skeleton slightly flexes. In response, those massive tuned dampers physically shift up. They move exactly out of phase with the crowd. This creates destructive interference. The upward mechanical wave of the damper perfectly cancels out the downward mechanical wave of the jumping humans. The kinetic energy is absorbed, converted into a tiny amount of heat within the hydraulics, and safely dissipated. The stadium breathes with the crowd, surviving an earthquake entirely of our own making. When you pull back and look at the whole picture, the true marvel isn't just that this individual system exists, it is that they are entirely beautifully interdependent. The aerodynamic airfoil of the roof stops the wind. By stopping the wind, the heavy lake of cold air is allowed to settle in the bowl. That dense cold air cools the fans, preventing heat stroke. Those comfortable fans inevitably jump and create seismic chaos, which is safely absorbed by the flexing hydraulic skeleton. And beneath it all, a vacuum matrix quietly pulls a thunderstorm out of the grass so the game never has to stop. A modern stadium is a singular, living machine, engineered to perfectly isolate 60,000 people from the whims of nature and themselves. So, the next time you are frustrated that your favorite team lost, at least you can appreciate the absolute engineering masterpiece they lost inside of. Stay positive out there, and I'll catch you in the next one.